What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Lasting Thoughts Podcast. I'm your host, Digital Relaxation, and we are back again for another episode. And as you guys, as always, enjoy what you guys are going to hear and what you have heard before. Please be sure to share this podcast and rate it and all of that jazz. Today is kind of a special episode because I did want to talk about this topic for a long time, but I felt I always needed someone to talk to with. So I'm glad that I was able to finally get someone there. So I have a guest with me today. If you would like to kindly introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Aaron Whitfield. I am an educator. I'm also a podcaster, the host and creator of the Semi-Social Life of a Black Introvert podcast. So definitely check that out on any major streaming service.
Yes, there you go. So before we get started into the main topic, just what you've been into recently, like things you just been watching, reading, whatever activities you've been into in your life.
You know, lately I've been, I'm a writer at heart. And so whether it's writing about my life or actually like writing music, I'm a hip hop nerd. And so I stay writing verses each and every day, every single day. So that's definitely one of my passions and loves. But, you know, my job, my purpose in life is to connect people. So I work at as an educator at a major college university where I design and develop programs for African-American males. And so if any of the listeners out there ever need anybody to help them design programs for people of color, let me know, because I'm always down for that.
That sounds dope. That's interesting. 'Cause I also do music and write songs too. But to write, you write every day. I have times where I would definitely have like writer block. So like usually when I work on a project, like I would try to do it. And sometimes it'll take a while to come out. Then some days like I end up like writing 3 songs down like back to back, and then after I'm done with that project, it's like I have nothing else to say, so I just don't write nothing for like a few months or to a year. So like I guess you get the motivation to write every day, like something like that.
When I was in my 20s, I will write every day from like I'm 37 right now. And so I will write every day. I mean, I would write a song a day. And I would normally set up in a black notebook and just write down whatever I was experiencing in life. Now that I'm older, it takes a little bit more time. But I thought I lost the power to write. I thought I forgot how to write bars probably about 3 years ago. But I realized that, it never leaves you. And that life is all about the inspiration. And so I'm looking forward to like perhaps even creating an album. I mean, I have like probably close to like 2,500 songs.
Jeez.
Just sitting there. I have beats. I have everything I need to sort of create and craft. I'm just sitting on something.
That's dope. Like, yeah, because it was like, I think it was 2015. That's when I was like, I don't think I wanted to, because I mainly did music as like a way to vent out like whatever I was dealing with mentally. And that was mainly through my high school years. So once I got out of high school years and I started like focusing on myself, I started losing the reason why I was rapping in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done here. So I took a break. And then once I finally got a new outlook on my life, I was like, all right, I came back. So now I could basically I did a whole project just sounding completely different. I'm like, so this is actually better now. So now I'm focusing on just like changing my style up on what I talk about now. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, music is all about, sometimes we got to step back and get like a different perspective. Like I was mad when I didn't write songs each and every day. But what I realized is that if I take a step back, I get a different perspective on life. And that's what makes the music rich, as opposed to, I know you know this feeling of writing a verse and it just doesn't connect. And it's trash. And you're like, I don't like this. But when you write music that you can feel, that's the most beautiful moment.
Yeah, definitely. Like I have like a little series of mixtapes I call the Free Time series, and usually those are like songs that either never made a project or I just didn't finish the song at all. It's just like a verse. So it's like, but there's still a lot of songs that's still hidden that I'm like, I don't want that out publicly.
Yeah. No, I got that, man. I got my trunk full of notebooks over here, and occasionally I'll go back in them like, and I'll be amazed. But I really feel like I'm a better writer now. I feel like my bars, the entendres, I could paint a scene so much better. The flow, the way everything moves together. I was more active back then, but I'm better at it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's literally the same thing. Like I was making projects left and right in my high school, but now it's like I can actually like it's more focused and more structured now. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that's good. So kind of got off off topic, but it was cool. But yeah, so I guess the main thing I really wanted us to talk about today was dreams. Unfortunately, which is weird, there's a lot of people that I'm close to in my life that either they don't have dreams or they just don't remember them, and I don't know why that is and why. It's like, why am I the one who remembers my dreams, I guess, and I'm so fascinated with it and all that. So like, what's your story with like dreams and all that?
I've always been a dreamer. I remember being 4, 5, 6 and just having very clear dreams about life. No, my dreams aren't, when people, I think sometimes when people think of dreams, they think of like talking trees or like, or abstract thoughts. My dreams are very much so real life.
Yeah.
Real life circumstances. I remember being like 6 years old, 7 years old, and having a dream that I would have to save someone's life. And I would have the dream all the time. And so those dreams stuck with me. And then eventually, I learned how to utilize dreams to my benefit. It's tough. I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but it's so tough to dream every single night. I dream every single night. If I take a nap for 15 minutes, I'm going to have a dream.
Yeah.
And so it's the mind doesn't relax, but also I like the freedom of understanding that my mind is traveling somewhere that my body isn't.
Yeah.
And so I try to look for insight in those dreams.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's multiple categories for my dreams. Like, for the most part, they're usually like, the best way to look at it is as if like it's a what if universe, where like if I did something differently, this whole situation would happen or whatnot. And then there's one that it was common, but I think I was like understanding why it was happening, but I usually would have dreams about usually my past, and usually it's my childhood times, and I'm like, it's like, why am I always like, my friend used to make fun of me, like I'm constantly having dreams about when I used to go to school back in New York, and it was like, because I don't live there no more, but I'm always having dreams of being there, because it's like that part of my life wasn't finished properly, and that's what led to like my mental breakdown. And it's like, I guess my dream is like telling me like there's still something missing there, and I'm like, I can't fulfill that void, but my dreams is constantly putting me there.
I think, I have dreams often about middle school. I grew up in a small town, and I haven't lived there in years.
Yeah.
But a lot of my dreams, I'm not gonna say most, but there's a nice chunk of my dreams that are about certain areas in my hometown, whether it be my middle school, the middle school that I went to, or high school, or I have a reoccurring dream that I'm either late to a track meet, and I'm rushing, even though I know I'm older, but I'm still somehow rushing to get back to this high school track meet because I'm late. Or I have dreams of playing, when I was playing high school basketball, just playing high school basketball and just dunking at ease. Like, it's a weird place, but I often think that my dreams they center around places in which I'm being prepared for something.
Yeah.
And so when I look at high school, when I look at my middle school, when I dream about college, all of those are like places of preparation for me.
Yeah.
And so I often think, like, what am I being prepared for? Like, what is this dream trying to tell me? Sometimes it's clear, but sometimes, it takes a minute to get back into it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's dreams that I kind of understand why I have them, but it's like, I don't know, because like your mind is like, when you have those dreams, your mind really makes you feel those thoughts in your dream, but like in real life, you're not really too attached to that moment. So it's like I would tend to have dreams where I would have like disagreements with my family, and it's like big disagreements. Like I'm like very angry with them. But then I wake and I'm like, I'm not really like, I know there's something between, like there's a disconnect between me and my family during my teen years, because I started shutting myself off emotionally. But to be like that with them, I don't think I'll ever be like that. So I'm like, I wonder why my dreams make me feel that way to an extreme.
Sometimes maybe the dreams, and this is why in some ways I look forward to them, but other times it's tiring. They take us to an emotional place or to a spiritual place that we won't allow our physical selves to go to. Maybe there's I think when I think of my dreams, I think my dreams are probably more real than the reality that I live.
Yeah.
I think I have limited vision, only using my two eyes, and so I think dreams go to a place that I won't allow my eyes to venture to, probably a place of truth or a place of understanding or discovery that I don't want to go to, or I'm too afraid to go to, or I'm too tired to go to. But my dreams take me to probably a place of honesty and realness, in which there isn't a filter, it's just there. And so dreams to me are moments to travel. It's traveling to the unknown, and being able to see something different that I know that my eyes won't see or haven't seen.
I usually enjoy most of my dreams, and I wanted to ask you before I got to that point, but what's your thoughts on nightmares, I guess?
So I sometimes have sleep paralysis.
I don't think I have ever had that.
Yo, it's crazy. I've had it for a long time. And I grew up in the church. And so, I remember explaining it to somebody, and the person almost like over spiritualizing it, like it was a demonic attack. And I don't necessarily believe that, anymore. But I do believe there's something. I've had sleep paralysis enough to now be comfortable with it. And it's weird, in which I'm not able to move. I'm not able to speak. I will feel a pressure. I will feel like a presence, but I'm not like fearful. I'm more in the mood to fight whatever is causing me sleep paralysis, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not fearful of whatever it is. I'm like, okay, I'm tired. I can't move. Whatever's here, I need to get off of me. And so I go into almost like this fighting mentality. And I'm very conscious of it. Like, it's almost like an attitude where I say like, oh no, not again. I'm tired of this happening. Let me go ahead and fight you. And so, it's dreams are just, I have some nightmares, but I don't really have like fearful nightmares. There are some dreams in which I can wake myself up if I feel like it's getting, too far, too deep. I'm like, okay, this is too much. Let me go ahead and wake up. Mm-hmm. But most of my dreams, I can, if I happen to wake up and the alarm goes off and I still have some more time to sleep, I could wake up and then look at the alarm or look at the clock or whatever, look at my cell phone, and then be like, yo, I'm gonna go back to this dream and go finish it up and go find the meaning.
Yeah, just two things I want to touch on with that, but I want to finish up the nightmare part. So similar to what you were saying, like how like not having fearful dreams was like it's something still disturbing. So I remember the last time I had, I would say, a quote unquote nightmare. This was, I don't think I was a teenager yet. It was like one of those. It was like I was on a school trip in my dream, and the place we was at just ended up like getting invaded by monsters and stuff. And then I don't know, like something just said like, "Yo, like I could keep running for so long." And then I just started like I started fighting back. Yeah. And from that day forward, I never really had like nightmare dreams where I've been afraid of what's been happening. Like if something's bad going on in the world, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. But I never been like feared of my life in my dreams ever since that day. And the next thing going to like this, let's say I never had sleep paralysis, but I had moments where, like, I don't know, like I'm hearing noises, either it's in my dream or it's outside, but like my ears is like amplifying the noise so loud that it feels like it's right near me. So like I would hear a knock and it sounds like someone is knocking on my door or knocking on my window. So I'll wake up instantly in my dream, but I'm just sitting there and like waiting for the knock to happen again. Like, did someone really knock on my door or not? And I'm like, okay, that knock was real loud. I'm like who's here? So yeah, I had moments like that. That was weird.
I've had those too. I've had moments in which, even in like this in-between state of deep sleep and going to sleep, somewhere in the in-between, I'll hear like a loud boom and have to question, like, was that in my dream?
Yeah.
Or was it in real life?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't separate reality from the dream. But, you know, during sleep paralysis, there are times in which I hear. I'm very conscious since I can't speak. I can hear. And so I believe, I think I hear something. And I know I hear something. And that just causes me to fight more. I used to be super afraid of it. Like, I used to be really just like terrified of sleep paralysis. Like, what if this happens again? And now, you know, like I said, it's more of a fight. Like, you're disturbing my sleep. I'm ticked off. And it sounds corny, it sounds cliche, but what I do, I pray. And I don't know how I pray if I can't speak. But somehow, whatever's going on in my body, in my, you know, or in my spirit, whatever it may be, I'll start praying, and it works every single time. It's clockwork. But there are times I do remember one time of sleep paralysis in which I felt like my body sink in the bed, and I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, did I die?
Oof.
And it was weird because I've never like felt like the sinking, and that thought was like, did I just die? And I've never felt that before, but you know, that was an odd one. I've had moments in which I've had dreams in which I was dreaming as I was asleep, which are odd too. I'm dreaming of sleeping. Dreams are just, I don't know where they go or how they get to where, how they reach that destination of just mystery, but everyone is sort of different. You know, every experience is sort of different, and they can take you anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know. My dreams, like, I don't have like, just like when people have like the cliche endings to their dreams, like, oh, you fall and you about to land on the water, like you fall off a bridge, you about to land on the wall right before you collapse, you wake up. Like, nah, like every time I fall, I hit it, but it's like I said, I don't fear it. So it's like, I had fell off from a bridge before and I landed in the water, and it was like, oh, it just felt like I just did a normal dive into the pool or something. Like, I wasn't scared of it.
Did you feel the water?
Not really, no. Like I said, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, it's just, my dreams is just like, I'm conscious of I'm dreaming, but not to a full degree that's like, oh, I know that I can control things. I only controlled myself like dreaming once, like to wake myself up. And it was weird because it was also water related. For some reason, I was in the park and the whole park just decides to flood, like just that one area, even though there's like the water could easily get through, but somehow it was like a barrier just keeping the water in. And I was like, this is getting weird. I'm about to wake up, and I just woke up. I'm like, that was weird. And
I've been in those moments, like, I call it like my parachute moment, where I'll parachute right out of a dream. Like, okay, this is getting dicey. Yo, it's time to go. And so I'll wake myself up, or at that moment in which like I know I'm in a dream. And so I'll be like, oh, you're dreaming, Aaron. Go ahead and get up. But you know, it's like I said, man, they just go anywhere and everywhere. I realize that I can't control dreams. You know, there's some moments that I will actually want to dream about. There are people that I will want to dream about. and I can't do it.
Yeah, definitely.
But my grandmother, when she had cancer and she passed away 10 years ago, as a matter of fact, 10 years ago here in February. And the night before she died, she visited me in a dream. And we had a conversation, and I woke up and I knew she died. And I checked my phone. I went upstairs. I was staying at my brother's house at the time. And he told me, it's like, Gran passed away. And I would love to dream about my grandmother, have another conversation, but I can't. I can't. My sister-in-law, it just won't. And my sister-in-law died. It was the same thing. She passed away, and I had a dream about a month after she passed away, in which we were both driving on a highway, and she was on one side of the highway, I was on the other, and we came to like a split in the highway where there was an exit, and without speaking, I told her, I said, "Hey, I want you to follow me, follow me, so we can go talk." And she looked at me without speaking, and she said, "I can't go where you're going, and you can't go where I'm going." And I remember the feeling of her driving. I was watching her drive. So I took the exit, seeing her car drive down the road, and I woke up just crushed. Like that was emotional. And I haven't had a dream about her since.
Jeez.
And so like that's where like the emotions of dreams, sometimes dreams can be so heavy. Yeah. And they're not nightmares, but they're emotion. I can go to sleep and wake up more tired than what I was before, because my body, my spirit, my soul has been moving the whole time, and I've been dreaming. So
yeah, I only had one. I think I had a recent one, but I can't really remember. But I had one that definitely impacted me, like in a way that I never really had before in a dream. And this was like probably 2008, 2009, and I had a dream about my brother passing away in my dream. And he never passed away in real life, but he passed away in my dream. And when I woke up, like just crying, like I was going to school crying, and I'm like, bro, like I don't know, that one just broke me. And
yeah.
Like, I never had a dream like that before or since. And I was like, man. But to ask the question, because with yours, like, so I was going to ask you, it's like you could feel, I guess, presence, and I guess yours is kind of opposite to me, because you seem like you feel some kind of spiritual presence from beyond life. And I tend to have moments where I'm feeling presence of people who are living and near me. And one person who managed to always constantly like invade my dreams somehow is my father. I don't know how he always does it, but he would literally come in my dream to like either wake me up, or I know he's about to wake me up in real life, and I'll wake up and then like, oh, knock on my door, he's right there. I'm like, like, why this man always coming in my dreams? I'm like,
how'd you get here?
Yeah. So, but that's I don't know, like it's like some kind of connection you have with the world and beyond, like when you're in your dreams. It's weird.
Yeah, I definitely have people that show up. The people who I want to be there, like really, really want, they don't really show up in my dreams. But the people who either I've had, sometimes I've had some past conflict from, with people.
Yeah. They'll
show up with people who I've had issues with in the past. And I try not to personalize it anymore. Because, from those individuals who, when I dream about them, we're in some sort of conflict or we're in some sort of situation. There may or may not be conflict, but to me, those individuals are some of my greatest teachers. Whether we've had conflict or we get along extremely well, each person I feel like sort of pops up in my dream has taught me something and is showing me something within the dream that I need to apply to real life. I've had plenty of dreams about real life scenarios that have played out in real life. I've had, you know, whether it be how do I handle conflict management, how do I handle pressure. A lot of my dreams encourage me to do better. They motivate me. I think dreams show me what I could be and not what I am. I talked earlier about like the dream, like when I go back and play high school ball, and I haven't played in a minute. But when I'm in the warm-up line, I'm in there, I'm looking like Jordan mixed with LeBron. Like I'm in there just dunking like crazy. Like my athleticism is crazy. And I'm thinking like, why am I, like as I'm doing it, I'm like, why am I doing it so naturally? Like why do I feel this good? And I think that's how I should see myself in reality.
Yeah.
Like there's some things like I limit my eyesight. I limit myself due to my eyesight and how I see myself. But dreams give me so much insight that when I have that type of insight, there's nothing that can stop me.
Yeah, I think my dreams tend to highlight if I am missing something in my life, or if I'm just not, like, I don't know, something that's interrupting me or disturbing me in my life, and my dreams are like some kind of, in a metaphorical way, kind of show it. Like I will always have a common dream where if I would have a superpower in my dream that relates to flight somehow, for some reason, every time I would take off, I would just always just fall back down. Like for some reason, I can never just naturally fly in my dream. And I'm like, why is something's like constantly stopping me? Like you gave me the power in the dream, but I can't do it. And it's like, I don't, like, why am I being handicapped? It's like figuring out like there's something missing in my life that I need to like make peace with or get out of a certain situation. Recently, I have gotten changed in the situation, and my dreams have changed. I have not been really remembering them lately, but they've been very different. Like they've been more free in a sense. Like they haven't been standing out in a way that's like, oh, like I remember having something similar to this. Like I don't know. So like I guess it's definitely like if you change your surroundings and who you're around or whatever, like your dreams will change with that too.
Absolutely. I think that dreams is almost like, you know, what we talked about with music. You know, as you grow, your sound should change. Yeah. You know, your lyrics should change. Your stories, your narrative should change. The music that I wrote from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it may be, I shouldn't have that same rhyme cadence now. And I think dreams are the same way. If my dreams, there are some reoccurring moments, but I don't dream as a child. You know, I dream as a man. Yeah. I don't dream. I see growth in who I am as a person. In my dreams have helped me see myself in a better lens in life. And so it's almost like leveling up on a game. You know, I'm on a different level now. And so I'm not on the introductory level, you know, or the training level. Like I'm on like level 12. And so now I just need to get to level 13 and 14 and 15. And so, I think dreams are almost, they should be progressive. I think dreams are almost the most raw form of progression that we can see. You know, That's
interesting. So I personally don't have an idea of it, but I want to know, do you have an idea of why there's people who don't, quote unquote, don't dream, or they just don't remember their dreams at all? Like,
you know, I don't know. I didn't realize that people don't dream until I was talking to my father about dreaming. This was like last year. And I was telling him about dreaming. I was like, so what do you dream about? He's like, I don't dream.
Yeah.
I was like, what? How do you not dream? Like, how do you not dream? And I was telling him, I said, I can't go to bed. I can't go to sleep without dreaming. I can't. And so I don't understand that blank slate.
Yeah, like it was weird to me because like when you sleep, time goes by. It's like you sleep, you feel like you just woke up and like I just went to sleep. So it's like, but you had that dream, that big gap of your dream. It's like for people who don't dream, it's like I don't know. Like, what does that look like? You just close your eyes and you just woke up.
It's just black. What is it? Is it my dreams? I can feel pain, as you mentioned in your dream with crying. Like I could feel emotion.
Yeah.
I feel pain. I feel fear. I feel all the emotions. And so I wonder. I think I don't know. I have a theory, but I don't know. I don't think it's true for everybody. But I think sometimes we could stop ourselves from dreaming. I think there's a choice in some ways, and an open door to dreaming that people can lend themselves toward if they really want to. Not all, but some. It's almost like you have to believe in that world in order to go into it. You know, you can't force the locks. You can't, open that window if you don't believe in it.
Yeah. And
so I completely believe in dreams. I go to dreams as if Superman has his Fortress of Solitude. Dreams are almost like my getaway too.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why people can't dream, but I do think that there's some people that just cut themselves off of it because their eyesight won't allow their insight to go to that place of transparency, of honesty, of not having control of where you're headed to in your dreams.
Yeah, there's two people in my life that I know who they claim they don't dream and whatnot. One of them was my cousin, and funny, like when we was younger, like when I would go to his house or whatnot for like to stay over for the weekend, one thing we would tend to do before we go to sleep was like talk about our past dreams and whatnot, but he would never like have anything to say, so I'd just usually be talking about my dreams. But when he do dream, he's like the same thing with my other friend, like they would tend to have the same dream. And I don't know why is that as well. Like, oh, I don't dream at all, but when I do dream, this thing is constantly always happening. And then, like, I don't know what is that supposed to mean for them? Like, it's weird.
The interpretation of dreams, that's one thing, it's hard for me to interpret other people's dreams. I'm pretty good at myself, but like, I don't want to screw up anybody's life and tell them like a false interpretation. Like your dream means such and such and such and such. I'm not, I may dream, but I'm not that kooky. But I do daydream, and I feel like almost daydreaming. Like I can get lost in my mind quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Daydreaming, I think, almost leads me to dreaming. I feel like it's almost like practice. Even though I'm 37, my mind will drift quickly. Give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna go to another place, another land, somewhere that I've never seen before a day in my life. And so I think it's almost like the setup for, if I can do that when I'm awake, man, close my eyes and let me actually focus in on something, I'm gonna get there so quickly. I can go to another world in a couple minutes. So I think like that's where like the daydream and also the willingness to still have imagination.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're like Peter, I'm thinking this is gonna be crazy, but like Peter Pan, like you almost can't allow yourself to grow up so much so that you can't dream, or that you can't daydream, or that you can't have imagination. And so me personally, I haven't grown up that much in that regard to where, I still need my imagination. I still need my creativity. I still need to daydream and drift off in order to exist in this world.
Yeah, because that definitely leads into a dope segue. And I mean, and I completely relate to that too, because I base my life completely on my creativity, which is, I mean, not weird, because like when I was younger, like people would have thought that my path was going to be, I was going to be an athlete because I used to do basketball, because my father played basketball and then my older brother started playing and I followed behind. But like once I got to high school, like I just stopped doing that, and then I just started getting more into my creative side. But daydreams was something that was special to me as well, because I used to I would look at anything and I was like, the whole world would just pop up, and sometimes it would feel like, oh, I think I felt like I've been there before, even though I never have. One of my favorite things I used to like seeing, just a couple of things. Like if you ever been to a Chinese restaurant, usually they have like their pictures of like someplace in China or whatever, like some scenery, and I'll look at it and I'm like, I felt like I've been there but I haven't. But it's like something connects me with that place, and my mind just wanders around being there, or like a forest, waterfall type place. For some reason, those places just always get to me, and yeah, like just the creativity of always having my mind wander. Like that's why I do a lot of the things I do creatively. It's like I don't know, like I enjoy it so much, but yeah.
I feel you because, you know, I look at those. I was talking to some of my students a couple of days ago about this. Like, I feel like those are like the moments that we need to hold on to. Like, I carry a notebook. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull. I carry a notebook with me every day. So this has my music in it. This also has like my creative thoughts in it. And so I know I'm so scatterbrained at times, so that if I don't write something down, I'm going to lose it. And one of the things I try to write down are my daydreams. Like if my mind goes off somewhere, I feel like that is daydreams, dreams are almost the same thing, in which I'm being transported mentally to a place, spiritually to a place that perhaps I'm going to reach or that I need to head to. I often have dreams of going to Africa, you know, and I can't wait till I step off, you know, the plane and go to Africa because my dream will officially have manifested. I have dreams of speaking at I do motivational speaking also, but now my new dream, I'm gonna say this that way when it happens, y'all can be like, okay, Aaron, what's real about it? I normally stay up late and I watch like movies, and so I started daydreaming. It's probably a couple weeks ago about speaking at colleges, you know, and teaching. You know, I'm an educator, but like really like teaching, and speaking and sharing my curriculum that I have at colleges. And so I just started, you know, typing in random colleges. I typed in Nova Scotia, colleges in Nova Scotia, Canada. And I sent off some letters to the universities of Nova Scotia and to, you know, some universities around here in the United States. And so I'm going to speak at a college because my mind allowed me to travel to that place in which once I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I really believe that this can happen. Yeah. And so I felt like that happened on purpose and not on accident. I think we look at our daydreams as we almost like frown down upon them, or like they're childish, like they happen on accident. Yeah. No, those daydreams are supposed to take you to your purpose, not just they're where you need to be and where you need to see yourself going, as opposed to just standing where you are.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that as like the places that I usually would transfer to in my daydreams would be places of like a form of peace. Like it's, you know, usually a nature place, no one's around. Like I'm just surrounded by the sky and the clouds, and I'm just in this one little bubble of just this piece of land. Just, I don't know. It's just, I guess it's like a way to just reset my mind and everything. Like not dealing with nobody and dealing with things. I'm like, oh, I could just go to this place and just relax myself.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, being able to see. I'm sitting in my basement right now, but I could daydream enough to see myself in another place. You know, and it's important to be able to see outside of our four walls or outside of our existence, wherever we are. It's cool to be where we are, but we gotta have some sort of insight to where we need to be or where we're headed. Yeah. You know, and daydreams and dreams definitely provide that.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's something that's always, like, even when I was young, like when I would be with my cousins and all that, like I would always see things that we can do more than the normal things. Like, oh, we could just sit there and play PlayStation and Xbox or whatever. And I'm like, oh, we can do this and like just explore more of like our creative side and things we can do. Like sometimes they agree with it, sometimes they don't. It was like, it's like a struggle trying to get everyone aboard with like their creative side.
It's hard because I don't think people are willing to go there. Like I watch movies all the time. I could watch a movie and learn a lesson about life just like that. Like some people just go to the movies, watch movies to be entertained. I go to movies, to be entertained, but also to gain insight.
Yeah.
Like, what can I pull from this? And I think that's like the level of depth that some people are willing to go to, where everything is a teachable moment. Dreams are a teachable moment. Daydreams are a teachable moment. Life is a teachable moment. This conversation is a teachable moment. Like, but are we willing to go there? Are we giving ourselves permission to go there? Are we giving our bodies permission to venture out, and are we to take control? And so, you know, hey, I'm like, show me. I don't need to show you, but like, show me like where I need to be, because I want to know, because there are places that I just got to go to.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, I don't know, like, it's definitely amazing now. And then it's like I said, like, basically been growing up not really having no one else to share this with, and like, because most of the people I talk to don't dream. And like, I know my mother would dream, and my mother and my aunt are two people who I know would dream, and their dreams would be like, whenever I overhear them talking about it, it's like something that's like how something like related to how you say you talked to your grandmother like the day she passed, and like they be having something similar like that, like these strong dreams. And I be sitting there like, that sounds way crazier and better than whatever I've been dreaming about. But it's like, I don't know. So like, everyone has their own connections to like whatever they dream about. It's like, mine's is just, like I said, mine's is just like a what if universe of like, if I did this differently, or if I had this ability to do these things, like. And some people just like have this deep connection with like, oh, I always have this dream of seeing someone in like another time or another place. It's like, I don't know. Like, it's just because it makes you think like again, like for the people who don't dream, but the question is, why do we dream? I guess, like, what gives us that ability to just go there?
I see what you're saying. It's you. How would I say it? Because I'm thinking too. I'm gonna see if everything ties in when I start where I want to start with this. I think it's so important for people of color, for Black folks, but for people of color. But I'm a Black man. I'm gonna speak for Black folks. I'm gonna take this for us to dream, And when I think about my ancestors who were enslaved, they weren't slaves, but they were enslaved. I would think that they had to have dreams because their bodies couldn't go, but only so far.
Yeah.
And when I read about people who have vision, who made movements, who've created change, a lot of those people are dreamers, and so that's why I take dreams so serious, because I need us to dream. I need us to see something better than what our eyesight has given us. I need us. I will hope and pray that we allow ourselves to daydream, to dive into creativity in a new way, to have imagination, to see like this world is, this is reality, but there's only but so much real.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Matrix. Like you got to see the Matrix as opposed to what your eyesight is telling you, and that's what dreams do. And so if whoever's listening to this and they don't dream, I would just I would encourage them to start off and tap into their creativity first. Their creativity and whether it be whatever they do creatively to express who they are, not as a job, but just who they are creatively. And then slowly allow your mind and your body to go there. Before you go to sleep, ask for a dream. See if you can dream. Ask whatever creator you believe in, hey, can I get a dream? And see if you can open up that door, because I promise you the insight is life-changing.
Yeah. And I basically pride myself to almost an annoyance to some people in my life, that it's like I really want like a group of people in my life to like really like explore more than just the normal status quo of their life. Like there's so much more you can do, so much more you can achieve. Like you gotta broaden your horizon, your scope, and like some people, I don't know, like this thing where people feel like they need to be more, which everything is cool, like, you know, taking care of yourself and all that, but like it's to a degree was like they just shut themselves off from like any possibility as long as like they taking care of themselves. It's like, you know, I don't want to go too far away from what I'm doing. Like, I guess they're afraid of taking a chance of exploring the unknown type thing. Yeah.
Fear will stop you from moving. From everything I've read about African history and people in the diaspora, like they were dreamers. Like we rely on like IG. Like we'll look at someone's IG and daydream. You know what I'm saying? Like see someone on social media, you know, watch some TV and daydream, but I wish I was there. But yo, our ancestors didn't have that. So they had to rely on that to see something different. Like they had to rely, whether they were enslaved or whether they were in kingdoms, whether they were in, you know, communities and in communal you know, places in life, like they had to rely on this up here combining with their heart and their spirit to take them somewhere else. Yeah. That was their TV. You know, we look at TV and IG and our phones as our dreams. Like that's our dreamscape.
Yeah, like people are selling fantasies on that. Yeah, like someone like, oh, they doing this so good, I want to be there. Like, but you don't know if they actually living that life in real life.
You don't know. You don't. But that's what people think are reality, and you know, you can put a hashtag on and make it look cute and cool or whatever. But like, how many people are really living? You know, how many people? And that's for any. Are you really living? Are you living? Like, how are you living? And so dreams help me analyze how am I living? Yeah. They give me an unfiltered sort of view on where I am.
Definitely. Like, I try not to get myself too attached to a lot of things. Like, I have been fortunate and unfortunate enough to like have a lot of ups and downs in my life, to the point where it's like I don't let bad things, like something bad happen, I'm like, all right, if something good happen, it's like, I don't know, I don't let my emotions get too high or too low. It's like I just expect things to happen at this point, because like it is what it is now. It's like I can't, if something bad happens, I don't go crazy. Like recently, like something could have been terrible at my job, because like I lost something that would have been terrible, but I didn't feel too crazy about it, because like things like this be happening to me. So I'm like, I think it's gonna figure its way out eventually, and it all worked out. So like, everybody else probably just been panicking, like, oh, we gotta do this. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
There's a middle ground. You know, I learned, or someone told me, like, you can't get too high on the highs, you can't get too high on the lows. Like, you got to still be able to feel your reality, but you can't be so sucked into your reality that you lose who you are. And so, you know, I try to think about that. You know, I like I said, everything is a lesson in life, and there's so many ways that I've been taught and that life has taught me, both in dreams, reality, relationships, conversations, whatever it may be. So I just try to take all the lessons for what they are and see if I can apply them each and every day.
Yeah, basically like the same thing. Like every time I would get a dream where I'm handicapped or something bad has happened to me, I like try to figure out what is going on in my life right now that my dream is kind of warning me about myself. Mm-hmm. And I try to figure it out, and know once I stop having those dreams, it's like, all right, I think I got it out now. Yep. So yeah, like I said, I have removed myself from different positions recently, and so far I haven't had any dreams that stood out in a way that made me feel like I should be paying attention to that.
You know, but you know what's funny though is that now, like, it's almost like, so even like this conversation is going to help somebody else out. Yeah. Like, you know, like this in itself, this conversation is a level up, you know, for both of us. Yeah. And so because it's going to help someone identify that it's okay being a dreamer. It's going to help someone dream again. It's going to encourage people to daydream and to see themselves for who they really are, not what they see in the mirror, but who are you really? the person who doesn't have any limits. And so, this is incredible. This is dope what you're doing.
Yeah, appreciate it. I mean, yeah, it's definitely, because I feel like, I don't know, it's complicated with my life because I'm not a very outspoken person. Like, you see me in person, like, I don't really talk much. I don't, but I feel like there's something that made me go forward with this, like doing a podcast. And like originally when I first started doing it, I was talking about like my hobbies, like, no, yeah, I was playing this game the other day and whatever. Then slowly I started talking about my life and things that been happening in my life. I'm like, oh, like I can use this to like get the message out there of like, people go through things. I went through things, but I've gotten over it, and you can too. So that's what I've just been doing the whole time, pretty much.
It's a legacy, man. You're leaving a legacy. Like my podcast, I started my podcast, The Semi-Social Life of a Black Introvert. It started because of a dream. And really, and when I saw it, like, and I woke up, I was like, I don't want to do this. This is too much. I don't want to talk about my life. I don't want to talk about, I'm an introvert. Like I am a Black introvert, just like the title of my podcast says. I'm an introvert at heart. Yeah. And so it took a lot of me I've had to learn how to see fear as a yellow light or a green light as opposed to a red light.
Yeah.
I used to stop when fear popped up. But now I'm starting to see it as like, when fear pops up, this is almost a time for me to go or proceed with caution, because wherever fear is, faith is. And so, this is, I'm glad that you started and that you listened to yourself and listened to, your heart and followed it, and look where you are. Yeah,
definitely. Like I said, again, like just this happening is a big step for me. Like, I went a good year of doing my podcast, mainly solo. If I did have guests, it was either close friends that I know, like, hey, like I already know our energy, but to reach out to other people that I don't really know, like you are my second person that I have like had on my guests that I don't know you personally like that. So like I'm trying to put myself more out there now and like see where it goes from there, because I don't want to keep holding myself back and just talking about myself all the time. I want to hear what other people went through. Like I said, again, like I didn't know a lot of people in my life that talk about dreams, and here me and you are, and like hearing your perspective and hearing all the things you went through, it's like it's good to hear that. It really is.
Nah, man, that's dope, man, because here's the deal too. Like I don't do interviews. I don't do interviews. I'm still a private person. And so last couple of months it's like, Aaron, do some interviews. Okay, I'm gonna try. See, I'm an introvert in real life. I'm also an introvert on social media, but like, so here we are. Yeah. And this is where I talk about like purpose. Like these are type of things that when we daydream and when we allow ourselves to go to that place, once we have that daydream, you almost got to let that daydream bring you to a place that we are in now. Yeah. Which is where you take that daydream, you turn it into a reality, and you manifest your daydream into something real.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great experience. It's a great ride. I'm still getting used to like putting myself out there and all of that, and I'm definitely enjoying this like a lot.
The same.
But you did touch on it earlier. I was going to ask about your podcast journey as well, like how you got into it and all of that.
Man, I started as to be honest, like I started as I needed something creatively to do. Like I wasn't really feeling I'm very creative, but I went through a lot of my life in which, things happened, and I lost myself, and in losing myself, I lost my creativity. And so once I got out of the place of sort of survival mode, in which I could actually try to do something and not, worry about losing money, not being broke or whatever it may be, then I started thinking about doing a podcast, and it came to me in a dream. And I started asking people around me, like, should I do it? And they were like, yeah, you should do it. And I was like, that's not the answer that I wanted. I wanted you to tell me no. That way I didn't have to do it. Like, I wanted you to know, but I did it. And the first episode, I wanted my podcast to really be like funny stories about my life. Like I'll talk about the funny stories and the stories that make you laugh as opposed to me. And so the first episode I did was like funny. It was about like this gang, and it was a true story. This gang went to the pool, and I'm not gonna say what gang it was, but they went to the pool and they did like backflips and stuff. Like I didn't expect this gang with their bandanas on to do backflips and look like synchronized swimmers. I didn't expect it, but I talked about that in the first podcast, and that's where I was gonna go, like more like comedy. And then the next week, there was a black man murdered in, I believe, California, and it changed my podcast automatically. Went from talking about stuff that wasn't personal to talking about stuff that was so personal. Yeah. And for 11 weeks, I was trying to quit my podcast. And then I did this episode on my insecurities as a man. It's episode 11 called Husbandology. It's talking about my insecurities as a man, as a husband, and as a father, and as a son. And I did it, and I recorded it, and I submitted it to the podcast, whatever, streaming, whatever. And I woke up that next morning like, oh my gosh, I just talked too much about my life. I was going to quit my podcast because I didn't want anybody to hear that episode because I felt like I told too much about my story. And just as I was going to go cancel my podcast, a listener in Japan hit me up and said she thanked me for listening, for talking about the insecurities of men. And she said, you have no idea what your podcast has done for me and my perspective for her and her perspective on her husband and her son. And that changed my perspective, like, whoa, people are listening. Yeah. And so here I am. I have like 250 episodes in. And just based on that one comment, her one comment helped me sustain for 250 plus episodes. It's amazing what one person can do. So
yeah, that's definitely amazing. Like finding that purpose or that reason to just keep going. And when things change and you have that shift, like I remember the first time I started talking about like my past and like when I first started getting into my mental health and depression and all of that, and I would post, like I would make little snippets of my podcast to promote it, and I put it on IG, and one of my friends saw it, but he decided to message my cousin, and he like, is he all right? Like, he talking about this person with these stuff. He didn't message me directly about it, but I'm like, it's the fact that it's like, oh, like people are concerned, like when I talk about these things. But like, if you listen more to the whole podcast, you know that like that's something that I'm beyond that now. But it's like, it's dope. It's like, I'm like, I feel more comfortable just talking about this because, as I said this many times on my podcast, like I want to be someone that like I didn't have when I was going through my stuff. Like, I want to tell you guys, oh, I went through this, I did this, but this is what I had to go through to fix it, and it might not work for you, but it's possible. And like, I didn't have no one to tell me that. Like, I had to learn how to get out of that myself, and it was a long journey, and I don't want no one to go through that journey for as long as I did. Like, so that's why I'm doing this.
That's dope, because it's what you're doing is you're telling your story, and as you say, you're telling it for someone who needs that person.
Yeah.
And and I think that's, I keep on saying my age because I want people to see what 37 looks like. Like, I'm 37. Like, I want, as a man who was 37, I want to tell a story that my brothers and sisters who are in their 20s and or in their teen years can listen to. Like, I think about my podcast. Yeah, I have listeners and subscribers and whatever. That's not, I don't really care about that, really. Yeah. I want it to be a written record, or not a written record, but a record of my life. I have kids. My kids, God forbid I pass away soon, but like, they'll have 250 episodes of my voice. Like, that's dope to me. Like, that's they could pop in my episode about forgiveness and mental health and be like, Dad is still here, or people just in general. And so I think about podcasting as storytelling. People of color, we can tell some stories. We just got to have a record of them. And this is our way to tell our stories. And so your story is going to help someone.
Yeah,
like your story
it's
is
amazing
gonna,
that you said that exactly, because that's also one thing too. I always had this issue of mine, like where people will always talk about me, but to other people, like, oh yeah, he does this, or he's like that. I'm like, I'm not. So it's like, I don't want no one to tell my story for me. If, like I said, when I'm going on, like, my whole story should be my podcast. If you like, for the people who not listening to it now in my life, it's like, and don't be confused or lost about, oh, like, what happened to him, like, I didn't really get to know him, like, it's all here now, like,
Yep.
You have the choice to listen to it now or later, whatever, but it's here. I don't want no one to tell you who I was, like, I'm doing it myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, man, I feel you. That's me. Like, this is, it's sometimes it's tough to do, but I'm like, but this is really me. It's the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, good, the bad, and the ugly. It's me. And so I want to get people help me along the way, and I want to pass that along to people, to other folks. Like, if I have something that can help you, why wouldn't I help you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? So yeah.
Yeah, like literally my recent episode I talked about too, like when I got out of my depression and I started meeting a group of friends who were going through their things. I was like, even I felt guilty talking to them, like giving them advice, because like I just recently got through it, but it's like, because I got through it, I want to still tell you that you can get out of it, but I'm not the expert, but still I had to tell you it's possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not the expert, but I'm here to give you a little bit of hope, and that's a great thing to give. You can give some people hope, give some people your ears, and you get some people love. So yeah, I believe in that.
Yeah, definitely. But so to go back onto dreams, this is a little side question. What is I guess a few common dreams, I guess, or some tropes or stuff that happen that is like, oh, I'm dreaming about this again, but it's something different, but it's like, oh, this is happening to me again, like.
It's crazy. So like, I dreamed about my first job. I worked at a fried chicken place. I love fried chicken too. So I know I fulfilled the stereotype. Like, my first like real job, outside of working for my father, was working at a fried chicken place in my hometown, and I was a cook there, and I worked there for like 3 years, and we'll go like 2.5 years. But I'll have a reoccurring dream in which I'll go back to the chicken place, and I'll go order some chicken, and I see that they're slammed in the back, like everything's extra busy. And I'll be like, you know what, just this one time only, I'm gonna go back there and go fry. Like, it's almost like Jordan's coming out of retirement, I'm putting on like put on the apron and stuff like that. And so to me, like, those dreams are funny. I used to think, like, that dream has no purpose whatsoever. What purpose does this have? But you know what? It goes back to my belief in helping people and encouraging people and solving problems. And it goes back to almost like how I sort of see my talent. Like, yo, I haven't fried chicken in that place in years, but I bet you if I went back there and fried some chicken, it would be the best chicken. I'd probably add some extra spices. Like, it'd be the best chicken that anybody, because that's just who I am. Yeah. So you could put me in any situation, and I don't perform, but I'm gonna produce in any situation. So I think about that. My town, the town I grew up in, I mentioned it's a small town. And it's divided by a bridge. There's a white side of town, there's a black side of town. Mm-hmm. I lived on the quote unquote white side of town. And so I often have a dream about like our the downtown area where the bridge is. It separates the two sides. And when I have dreams about like the downtown area and that bridge, I'm always at a place of decision, almost like a place of like being at a crossroads. And so that's a reoccurring dream too. High school, so many high school dreams of just, I don't dream about college because my connection to college wasn't that deep, but my connection to high school was deep, where my friends were and where I grew a lot. And so high school was definitely on the playing field or playing ball or just in the hallways. I have that dream. And so, man, there's so many different like dreams of like reoccurring dreams, but a lot of them are just about building who I am, building community, building people, encouraging people, encouraging myself. So
yeah, I have a few. I mentioned one of them would be the flying, but I can't actually take flight. Another one is this one. This one's another one that, like you said, the kind of what purpose does it serve? For some reason, like I have a dream where it's like, oh, someone is looking for me, and I'm trying to hide from them, but for some reason they always know where I am. Like somehow it's as if my point of view of my dream is their point of view. Like they seeing what I'm doing in my dream, so they always come to where I'm like, like how you always over here?
Yeah.
Another one, I don't know if this happens to you. This one is like almost every time, but if I'm ever playing a video game or if I'm watching a movie, if any kind of media is in my dream, I would transport into that. So like I'll have a dream of me playing a game and I end up being, I'm the character. I'm like, oh crap. So,
I do that only when if I fall asleep with like the TV on. Like I don't like to sleep with the TV on because I know I'm going to be in whatever show I'm watching or whatever movie is watching me or I'm watching. I do have like I have my movies that I rely on, that I look to for like inspiration. So, it's corny and I'm gonna age myself, but like I like the Dark Knight movies, with Batman. I'm not dressed up in the suit, but like I realize like I feel like I'm in my Batman moments and some dreams where I'm fighting evil and trying to, and save good. A lot of my dreams are about, take on some of the characteristics that I admire in people. I don't know if you ever seen Hunger Games, but like Hunger Games is a set of movies that like I watch all the time because I identify with characters who are extremely conflicted, but extremely heroic. And so my dreams play on that. And so, yeah, man, I just have my dreams. So they're everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's also when I asked to, like, I don't have no fear, like, oh, I'm in a nightmare or I'm about to die. Like, so if I'm playing a game that's like, oh, I'm about to fight all these giant monsters, but it's like when I die, but I respawn, it's not like, oh, I died. Like, I don't freak out in my dream about it. It's like, oh, like I know that I'm in the game. So it's like, it's weird.
Oh man, it's the power of dreams.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we covered a lot. That was good. If there's anything you want to add on or ask or whatever.
So like, I'm gonna take this dream. I'm gonna move it over to the daydream. Like, what's your ultimate dream for yourself?
My ultimate dream for myself, honestly, is I feel like I'm kind of working towards it now because I feel like I had that problem of I haven't been living my life, and I feel like I finally just started living my life, and now it's just elevating to everything that I'm doing now and just taking it to another level. So like I said with the podcast, now I'm making myself more out there to talk to other people with my music, try to do that more better. It's just I'm trying to be a complete me now that I'm finally like, I feel like I'm starting my life now, so that's what I'm doing and focusing on.
That's dope. Yeah, that's a different type of dream than what we talked about, but it's the daydream that's going to tie into the into the night dreams. So yeah, that's dope. I mean, this is dope, man. Like if people that are listening, definitely get at me on Instagram at Black Introvert Podcast. Or on Twitter, it is at semi_social_pod. Or if you're a teacher, educator, or need someone to come into your place to do motivational speaking, anything like that, let me know, because I will come wherever you are, and I promise you I will make you and the people around you better. Like, I believe wholeheartedly in that. So get at me and check out my website, IamMufali.com. That is IamMufali.com. Mufali stands for music, fashion, and life. So check me out, IamMufali.com.
Yeah, dope. Well, you guys have it. I will try to hopefully, well, I'll ask you for the information so I can put into the bio and whatnot. Yeah. But so yeah, I guess we're safe to wrap this up. But before we wrap it up, as always, I do my question of the day. So being that you're here, I'll give you the floor to ask the listeners a question for the day or for the week, however people take it.
So, my question is going to be about dreaming. Who is one person that you will want to dream about and why?
Yeah, I don't have myself. I always have dreams. There's someone like, oh, there's a person I do want to dream about. And if I do dream about them, for some reason, it's like, I know it's them, but either their face is blurred out or something, or there's something about their physical is altered from how they actually look. But it's like my dream, like my brain's like, I know it's this person, but I don't know why they're being altered physically in my dream. So that's another one. So I would definitely like to have more control of that. Like whoever I do want to dream about, like help me, like it's actually dumb. But
that makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, so that's that, man. Well, again, I appreciate you for coming on here.
No problem.
Having this. This was definitely dope. Like, this is something I wanted to talk about for a long time, and I'm glad that we had this. But
yeah, man, we made it happen. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, so again, if you guys enjoyed this episode and what you heard, please be sure to share this and rate it and all of that. Let everyone know, let people know that it's okay to dream and whatnot. And yeah, till next time, I see you guys. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Peace.